Hi, it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel, to TV Fanatic. So, I'm going to be talking about the Monster High trailer, which was released today, and kind of break it down. I watched it a couple times because it actually looks really good, but I'm still nervous. Still nervous, I'll admit that. But mostly because Laguna. Like, I'm not okay with how Laguna looks or how she acts from what I've seen. Um, it didn't really show her much in the trailer, but I did see like a couple songs that they released, and she's not very Laguna-y. She's not very Laguna-y. Like, she's supposed to be Laguna and chill, laid back, not this hyper preppy girl with colorful hair. Hair is pretty, I'll give you that, but it's not Laguna's hair, so it should go on someone else. But the trailer starts off with showing Monster High, and obviously a great way to start the trailer, showing Monster High. And Headmistress Blanca says, "Welcome to Monster High." It's a new school year, so there's a bunch of new students. You know, you see Draculaura show up, and Frankie and Claudine. Like, she just came in to the monster. It looks like she's came in through a portal, honestly. Like, she was in the human world. Like, the monster and human are two different worlds. Like, because in the original franchise they were in the same world, which we saw in Ghoul's Rule, because their school wasn't far away from the normie school. And I honestly gotta say, I hope they don't make too many big changes from what we know of these characters and the world, but I kind of like the monster world being there being a different world for monsters. Like, normies there, monsters here. I kind of like that, and I hope that is it, because I'm not sure, but it gave me the vibe of Claudine coming out of a portal, appearing at Monster High, and I really hope that is it, because I like the idea of Monster High, of the monster world being separate from the human world. I really like that. And then so there's like three main characters. There's other characters that are important, and then there's obviously side characters. So there's three main characters, and you get introduced to them, because they're roommates. Obviously, they're gonna have the three of them be roommates. Claudine, Frankie, who is non-binary, and I like that. And Draculaura, which um, she was in a coffin when she was introduced. But I like that Frankie's non-binary. I'm not a fan of Frankie. I never have been. And I don't think this movie will make me like her. But I'm really glad that they did put a non-binary character in here. So, yeah. And I don't know, maybe I will like Frankie a little bit more. I don't think I will, but you never know. But it's Frankie, and I've never been a fan of Frankie. I've never liked her. Or in this movie, it's Faye. So yeah. And since they made Frankie non-binary, I was kind of hoping they would make Claudine queer. Like, I know they announced that Claudine was a lesbian in the original franchise. The creators announced that she was a lesbian, and I was kind of hoping she'd either be a lesbian or Aro Ace, because I always got more Aro Ace vibes from her than lesbian vibes. But it doesn't look like that, and I'll explain why it doesn't look like that later in this video. Um, but it's the first day of school, so they go to their classes and stuff, and you meet Kronos, who is the main teacher, I guess. I explained in my last video how I thought they should have, you know, gave us a teacher we already knew and had somewhat of I mean, yeah, the teachers we didn't know that well. Like, it's mostly about the students, and we get a little bit into Headmistress Bloodgood since she is the headmistress. But in the webisodes, and even in some of the movies, we get to see some of the teachers. Like, we already have teachers we know and have an attachment to. So I feel like they should have, instead of giving us this whole new, I mean, they didn't do that with the headmistress. You know, they gave us a headmistress we already knew. But with Kronos, they didn't. They just created their own character. And I'm like, no thank you. um, but Kronos asks what are the greatest threats to monsters, and Cleo responds with humans. So that's kind of gonna be the whole main thing about this movie because Claudine is part human, and monsters hate humans. But Ghoulia makes an appearance, and I know it's Ghoulia just because it looks like Ghoulia, like a live action version of Ghoulia. I mean, her skin tone, her hair, and she has the same Ghoulia glasses she's had in the franchise. I'm really glad they kept that because I know they changed a lot of the character's appearance, but Ghoulia looks like Ghoulia, and I'm very happy. She did this weird screaming thing, so I have a feeling she's not gonna. I'm really hoping she doesn't talk, like, and people speak zombie. Some people, like Cleo. I mean, Cleo and Ghoulia are sadly not BFFs because that's was reserved for Laguna, but I don't know. I really hope she speaks zombie because that's the Ghoulia we all know and love. um, but there's songs. Because this is a musical, and they've already released a couple songs on TikTok. Actually, one of them, the first song I found on YouTube, but the other two I found on TikTok. And because they released 3 songs so far, and they're really catchy. The first song is about them all coming to school at the very beginning, so it's obviously the first song. They're all like entering the school for the first time, and the 3 main singers of the song is uh, Claudine, Frankie, and Draculaura, obviously. From what I saw of the song, Claudine enters the school at first and she's like excited but a little bit nervous, obviously first day school jitters and all that. Draculaura shows up with her dad and is all upset because it's like he wants her to be the best of the best like him and generations of their family, and but she just wants to be able to be herself and um, you know, be herself. Uh, and then Frankie is new, like really new. They are 15 days old, which I'm really glad they kept that. I know that's such a little minor thing, and minor things usually get thrown away or like replaced or whatever, but I'm glad they kept the whole fact that Frankie is 15 days old. Like they even mention it right before Frankie sings her their part of the song, and I really like that Frankie um they kept that Frankie is 15 days old. I don't know why I like that, but you know, sometimes the directors don't know what they're doing, and when it comes to adapting, because they don't care about the source material. But I'm still not happy with Laguna, but I am happy that Frankie is still 15 days old. Um, and it also showed Cleo and Laguna get introduced and Deuce and Heath in the song. So yeah, but they didn't really. I mean, they had like little minor parts, but it was mostly Claudine, Dracula, and Frankie that were singing the chorus and everything. They all had their own verse, and they all sang together, and yeah. And then the second song was in the classroom when I told you that Kronos mentions the whole humans are the greatest threat to monsters. They all start singing about how humans are the worst and monsters are the best. And Claudine is obviously, you know, all freaking out because she's part human. Um, and the third song I saw, it was just Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie because the scene literally had just the 3 of them. They were in a cemetery, and I think Draculaura just told them that about her witchcraft because she's a vampire, but she studies witchcraft, but it's illegal from what I know. And so she told them that studies witchcraft, and they were supportive, and they all sing a song about the 3 of them together can do anything or whatever, and the 2 of them help her. So yeah, those are the songs I know of so far, the ones that I've seen, and they're catchy, and I like them. Cleo and Claudine rivalry. It looks like they're gonna have a rivalry, and it's gonna be around Deuce, but I don't think it's gonna be just Deuce. And I mean, in the original franchise, Cleo and Claudine did butt heads, like they did. Um, but in the end, they were friends, and I really hope they keep this. I really hope for Cleo's character, they keep her good heart because it's like she's not as bad. I mean, yeah, she can be mean. She can. Like she can be awful sometimes, let's be real. But she has a good heart, a lot better than some of the other bullies in Monster High. There's Toralei, who they don't. The first time they really showed that Toralei had potential was the last movie of the original franchise, Great Scary Reef. And then there's Gory, and it never really showed her having any potential of being anything more than just a heartless bully. Um, But Cleo, the one thing I love about Cleo is that even though she can be mean, she can be awful, she can be this rich, preppy, mean girl, but she has a good heart and she truly cares about Deuce and her best friends. She cares about them a lot, which is shown throughout the franchise. And I really hope that by the end of the movie you realize that that's kind of who Cleo is too, that despite her mean girl facade, that she cares about her best friends. Like, Laguna is supposed to be her BFF in this movie, so I hope it shows how much she actually cares about Laguna and even Deuce, because I hope the two of them end up together, because they're always endgame, and if they're not endgame, I'm gonna punch someone. Um, so yeah, Laguna is Cleo's best friend. I already mentioned that. Deuce and Claudine potential romance. I'm not okay with that. Um, I but I have this theory, and if the theory is wrong, I'm going to scream. But I mean, every the directors would be stupid. My laptop's gonna die, so I have to plug it in. The directors would be stupid not to have Cleo and Deuce end up together because they have such a loyal fan base on the franchise. They are one of the main couples, which is why I'm really upset that the main couples are Dracula and Claude, Deuce and Cleo, and Gil and Laguna. They're the ones we see together and from the beginning to end. Even if they have fights or breakups, they always get back together before the movie's over, and they're always fine for the most part by the end. So those are the main relationships, the ones we see in almost every movie. But Claude and Gil don't look like they make an appearance. And Claude is supposed to be Claudine's brother, and so you think if he was there, he would have made an appearance in the trailer. Gil could still be on there, but just didn't make an appearance in the trailer because he didn't have a big enough role. Who knows? But Claude, I highly doubt he's in there because he's supposed to be Claudine's brother, so he would have made an appearance, and Claudine did show up alone, so I don't think she has a brother, which makes me sad. Um, it's just um I love Dracula and Claude. They're my favorite couple, and I'm really upset about that. But who knows? I'm pretty sure they're gonna make a second movie after this that's gonna follow Dracula more. So maybe Claudine will admit to having a brother, and that shows up out of the blue, and the two of them will get together. Who knows? Anything's possible. But the point is, I want Deuce and Cleo to end up together, and I do not want Deuce and Claudine to end up together. No. But so my theory is that the whole like Claude and Deuce just shared this little look after Cleo said something mean to Claudine, and Deuce told her not to worry about it, and they shared this little look, and I'm pretty sure that it's just they're just doing this to make Cleo jealous, like the directors like to put Deuce and to put pit Claudine and Cleo against each other because they both like Deuce, but then Deuce is going to want to be with Cleo, obviously, and I hope that's it. Frankie doesn't know, and I really like that they like I said how I like that Frankie is only 15 days old, and it's really showing that because Frankie doesn't know what a high five is. Kronos says high five to her to them. Sorry, I'm not used to Frankie being non-binary to them, and they're like, I don't know what that is, and then Kronos is like, oh, you just do this, you rub your hands together. So Frankie thought he meant this, like you do it to yourself, like this is a high five, and they get really excited about that. And then later on in the trailer, it brings that up again because Claudine's like high five, so Frankie does this, and she's like, we're gonna work on that. but um, but then things turn darker because that was kind of the lighter side of things, and then things get darker, and I really like it because it's like the school seemed bright and shiny, and now all of a sudden the tone has gotten a lot darker at this part of the trailer, and it says, and Mrs. Bloodgood says there's an untrue monster heart among us, and my theory is that there's like this stupid fly. There's the spell or something in the school that can detect human blood, and that's how they know that there is someone that's half human or has human blood in them at least. What they don't know is that it's Claudine. They have something that can detect that there is, but not show them who it is. That's what it looks like at least. Um, and everyone is visibly on edge because of it. Like they're all afraid of monster or humans. They were taught to be afraid of humans their entire life, so now they're all scared and on edge because they think there's a human among them, which, I mean, that's not completely wrong. Abby makes an appearance, which I'm happy about. And she looks like Abby too. I mean, she has the same skin tone, same hair, same like her clothes, like the whole white heavy clothes that Abby always wears. Yeah. Um uh the staff is looking for which student is human. Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie get obviously close because it's gonna be three of them that are BFFs, whatever. The school's falling apart, and this part reminds me so much of Friday Night Frights when they lost the school May roller maze, and um, the and because of it they lost their literal school spirit, so the school was legit falling apart. And it shows that the school is falling apart, like something even almost fell on Cleo, and someone, I didn't see who, but someone, I'm hoping it's Deuce, because like I said, I hope they end up together, pulls her out of it before it crushes her. Um, Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie decides to go rogue and fix this. I mean, I'm pretty sure they go rogue because it shows the three of them like out at night and stuff, and I'm gonna take a guess to say they're not supposed to be out at night, like at cemeteries and all this. So they decide to fix this and go around behind the back because I'm guessing since Draculaura can clean up to Claudine and Frankie about practicing witchcraft, that Claudine would come clean and tell them about her being half human, and the two of them will decide to help her and figure out how to, you know, make it so the school is fine, not falling apart, but no one has to find out about Claudine being half human. At least that's my theory. Like I said, some of this stuff is theories from what I've seen and what I know. There's a scene where it shows Claudine and Draculaura outside during the daytime, and Draculaura looks sick and queasy all of a sudden. She's like, sunlight, not my favorite thing. And yeah, so she doesn't like sunlight. Um, Kronos, it shows Kronos again, and he's talking about a secret lab, and then it shows Claudine and Frankie looking at a map to find uh, where in school the secret lab is, and that's also when it shows the whole high five thing again, and Claudine's like, we're gonna work on that. And so it shows Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie sneaking around the school trying to find that secret lab. And they find themselves in this place, and they in the school, and they get trapped and locked in at one point. And then it shows it pans these camera pans to Cleo, who screams while looking into a hand mirror. I paused it to see if I could see what she would be screaming at, but I couldn't figure it out from that. So I don't know, maybe it was a magic mirror and the mirror showed something, or I don't know. But she screams. um, it shows the entire group of main characters, not just Frankie, Claudine, and Draculaura in the cemetery. It also shows Deuce, Heath, Laguna, and Cleo, because those are the main characters. It shows all of them in the cemetery. Deuce takes off his glasses, his eyes glow green, and then he gets thrown backwards. So obviously they're fighting something. It doesn't show what or who though. And then the last thing it shows on the trailer is Claudine at a desk all alone, and she thinks she hears something, so she kind of gets all tense and freaks out. She's like, anybody there? And then the screen goes black, and she's like, no. And she seems scared. So that's kind of where the trailer ends. And yeah, so that is the trailer breakdown. I told you some of my theories from what I've seen and what I already know. And my next video will be about what I know that doesn't have to do with the trailer. Just what I know that I figured out on my own from things I've read or seen from, and just let you know what I know and how I feel about it. um, but yeah, so the trailer actually looks good, and the songs are good. Like, go to TikTok and search Monster High the movie songs. Because like I said, 3 of them have been released that I saw. Those are the unedited versions though. Like they released the unedited versions, so like um, some of them like start flying and you see them fly, but yeah, you see their ropes and stuff because it's unedited. But um, but the songs are really good, and I'm actually excited for this movie, but at the same time still scared because I'm afraid they're not gonna follow the source material. But it seems like some things are following the source material, so I just have to hope for the best, but still be a bit wary as I go in. So that's what I'm gonna do. So please like and subscribe and comment what you thought of the trailer if you saw it, and if you're excited for this movie. And I will talk to you guys later.